We're at Vittoria 1938 today. Today we're at Vittoria 1938. I'm with Elisabetta and Niko. And it's a fourth generation trattoria here in Santa Croce in Venice, this little angle here. It's a beautiful spot in Venice. Elisabetta's fourth generation, it's family owned, almost 90 years of history here in Venice. And they're carrying the torch forward. And Chef Niko here has spent time working around Asia and the Americas, learning his craft. What I love about it is he brought this knowledge home. He fell in love with food as a child, and he was passionate about learning from people the culture, the stories. The influence here, there's traditional Venetian cuisine, but there's also this innovative twist, this fusion cuisine. I would say this, as a chef, I know that Niko, his technique and what he says and what he puts on the menu matches what the menu states. And that's what great chefs do. I'm so excited because today Chef Niko and I are making one of Venice's most beloved dishes. It's called bigoli in salsa. In the 1300s, Venice was trading with Turkey, and the Turkish brought these grains over through the Veneto. What they would do is they would mill them down, and then they made this pasta. Very few ingredients, and they would make this impasto, the dough, and that's the origin of the story. This flavorful, delicious, rustic pasta. And after the World War II, that's when they started to introduce eggs into it. They made the pasta a little smoother so it would cook faster. It was just the evolution of modern times and people want things quicker. But the original version is always just the rustic grains, water, a little bit of salt. So, okay, allora facciamo l'impasto, no?
Facciamo l'impasto, iniziamo con l'impasto.
E fai tu?
Fai tu, Luke, oggi?
Niko's putting me to work here. I say it's cooking with the masters. He's the maestro. He's the master here. So we have 00 flour and semolina flour, egg yolks and water, salt, and one whole egg. Look at the color of these gorgeous eggs. Pull away from the sides. You don't want it to go over the dam here. This is semolina flour, thicker grain, and it has to absorb all of this moisture, and it takes time. So 24 hours this dough has to rest before we make the bigoli. I can feel the texture of this flour. And this too, because of what it is and the consistency, is that this texture when it comes through the bigolaro, the rustic mouthfeel, which I love. That soaks up the sauce. It's time for the whole egg.
Me la senti?
Un po' secco anche, un po'. Forse ci
Sai
vuole.
perché? Perché la farina di semola assorbe più lentamente.
He asked me how it felt, and I said it feels a little bit dry for what I would normally do for pasta. What he's explaining to me is that the semolina, it needs to be dry like this, but it's coming together now. That it absorbs slowly over time, and that if you put more moisture into it, water or eggs, that it'll be too wet and it won't go through the torchio correctly. So it has to be this consistency, and obviously if anyone would know, it's Chef Niko. We're in Venice here. I need to make a bella figura. All my Venetian friends are watching here. A few minutes ago I thought it was too dry, but it really came together here.
Perfetto.
Sì.
Luca,
Look at this.
grande.
Look at this beauty. Look at this. These quality ingredients, you can tell. I can feel the difference. Look at the color of these eggs. This is gorgeous. So now this will rest for 24 hours until we make the bigoli. My friend Mia here, see? He's the sous chef here. We'll rest this in plastic for 24 hours, and Niko yesterday prepared a dough for us to extrude today through the bigolaro. So he showed me the difference. This has been resting 24 hours. It's got this durability to it, this hardness, because it's absorbed. It's absorbed all that moisture to the perfect hydration, and this is really soft. This would not go through the press right now. It would just get gummy and stuck. In the 1600s, a man named Bartolomeo invented the torchio, the press, or bigolaro it's called, because it was very hard to extract and extrude or work by hand. So he patented this design, but it predates that to the 1300s with trade. So imagine for 300 years they were struggling trying to make this pasta until Bartolomeo invented this contraption here, the bigolaro, to make it easier to extrude. Cavalcare, I have to mount the horse now. Look at
Yes,
this.
sir.
I don't even know. I've never ridden a horse. I rode a horse once, it bit me.
E niente, iniziamo col bigolaro. We prepare the pasta.
Okay, look at this. I want you guys to see this. This is the die. It looks like a meat grinder die, but here's the difference. It's bigger here and it's smaller there. So look at how it has to go through. It has to be pressed through the bigger holes and it comes out the smaller holes. Look at this die. It looks like it's handmade. This was not machine drilled. The maker of this, and this is actually from the 1865, it's 151 years old. The detail on this is all hand hammered here. It's priceless. This is history. We make the pasta the shape of the cylinder here, dropping it in. My first time using a bigoli press. Here it goes in and you just start turning. 151 years old. And look at how beautiful it's working. Look at this. This is what I love about beautiful food stories, and that from poverty, people had this want, this need, using very few ingredients and making the want in their heart and the love in their heart to make something beautiful for their family. It wasn't just survival, it was much more than that. So the first part goes cut, and they're coming into a mound of, this is semolina flour, so they don't stick together and it helps them dry on the surface. They make 19 portions a day of this. The texture is amazing. It has this beautiful rough surface. He's saying that the egg yolks help dry out the pasta. When it was made with just water, traditionally, it wasn't the same color of the eggs. It held a lot of water, so it just had a different texture. This is the length that Niko likes, and now we're going to cut it. Questa è una porzione abbondante.
Non è dalla fame io.
I said, is this a portion? And he said, well, it depends on how hungry you are. I'm pretty hungry today, so I think this will do, maybe more. Great. With the cut, he fully immerses them here into the semolinas. Here in Venice, there's a lot of humidity, so the outside, because of the pressure and it develops heat within this canister, you want to dry the outside very quickly here, and that's the key with the semolina to keep it from sticking. Man, I'm working up a sweat. I'm going to need at least a bottle of Prosecco after this.
Sure, of course.
I mean, I want to be Venetian here. Salsa for the bigoli is 3 ingredients. The white onions from Chioggia. He likes to use these from Chioggia. They have a very particular flavor, texture, aroma, and sweetness to them. Olive oil. These are sardines under salt. Look at these, and we're going to show you how to clean them as well. All right, so they have scales. See, he's taking the scales off. He's pulling all the meat off and leaving the bones behind. See these little bones, the little spina? I have to try one. So I'm going to take the scales off, pull away from the bone. I did quite a few of these too in my career. Pull the spine out, and then you have a nice clean fillet. He's making me work here. I got to cut the onions too. So what Niko was saying is that he's using Venetian ingredients for all of his dishes. All local ingredients here, all products here for his menu, which make it very unique and different. And that the beauty of being a chef is that you're the sum of your learned experiences. And that's what we want to express in our food and our cuisine. And he does it so beautifully. I like to work. Okay. See, look at this collaboration. We're meant to work together. He peels the onions, I cut them. Look. Extra virgin olive oil, the onions, the sardines under salt. What he's saying is that he uses extra virgin olive oil. Typically, people were using seed oils, but because Venice traded with so many different lands, they own so many different lands all over the Mediterranean, they had abundance of olive oil always. So traditionally, it's used in this recipe, which makes it so special. He only uses 3 ingredients: olive oil, onions, and the sardine. I've seen versions where they put bay leaves. They could put peppercorns in it and stew them a long time. They put vinegar or even white wine, also anchovies. But traditionally, this is the old school OG recipe, and that's what we're making today. Explaining why there's no white wine in it. It's typically a magro day. It's like a lean day or Lenten dish. Whenever there was feasts or holidays where you would not eat meat or consume alcohol, this dish was very traditional back then because it had onions, fish, and oil, no wine, no meat. An interesting historical fact is that this dish was originally a Jewish dish because there's a ghetto which is still here in Venice on the days of Shabbat, which is Saturday. They would prepare this dish, could not light their fires on Shabbat. They couldn't do any manual work or work with the fires as well, so they would eat it cold. Let's cook it. This is gorgeous. Right in boiling water here. Well, your glasses. 4 to 6 minutes for this. That's a long time for a fresher style pasta. But come look at this. Look, it's already expanding. You can see how it's getting bigger. It didn't look very thick, but now look how thick it is now. Sono più confortabile qua in cucina che salotto. We're talking about being chefs, and I said I think I'm more comfortable in the kitchen than I am in the living room of my house. So I said, agreed that we're going to put a couch here right in the kitchen in front of the oven, and we'd be very happy. Let's taste it. How we do it in the kitchen? Okay, almost there. Beautiful texture. Okay. Here we are. All the water out of it. A little bit of the cooking water. This is heaven. Look at how beautiful this is. I wish you could smell this aroma. These are what we call sea beans. These that grow in the marsh. And this is a parsley oil he finishes. This is his twist on the tradition here. Gives it some beautiful, refreshing aroma. After so much work, it's time to taste it. Here we are. Look at this. Fruits of my labor. A pasta, the texture, how it holds the sauce, the flavor, the bite. Also, just knowing that the press we used is 151 years old makes it even extra special, and all those stories and history behind it, for me, makes it even more delicious. The sauce, the onions, 3 ingredients: oil, onions, and sardine under the salt. It's sweet, a little salty, has umami, and the texture brings it all together. This pasta is just phenomenal. It's just a dream. It's my favorite Venetian pasta ever. And it's fun to eat. I mean, the texture we're talking about, it's not soft, it's not hard, but it has this bite, this chew, that's just perfect. Not stick to your teeth at all for as thick as it is. This is truly a pasta of meditation, no?
Yes, I think so.
Posso fare un po' di pecorino? let me talk about the wine a little bit. Elisabetta, puoi spiegare il vino un po' la storia di Dorona? Dorona is an autochthonous grape, indigenous grape of the region, and for centuries it's been here, and the Doges of the Doge's Palace, the dukes would drink this. This was their white wine. In the flood of 1966, it was almost gone because the flood was so extreme that they thought they lost all the plants. But after that, a few years later, they found some sprouts and some plants and some vitigni, some vines that were still alive. And then they preserved this beautiful cultural Venetian historic tradition here. And it's in this glass. I love it. It tastes saline. It tastes like the lagoon, the freshness, the air I get in it. And it goes perfectly, the balance with the acidity and the fruit with this bigoli. My teacher. This wine is dangerous. I could keep drinking it, and I just might. Posso? Faccio no, brindisi. Ok. A te.
A te, a noi, evviva, salute.
Chi ti ha insegnato a cucinare?
La gente per strada.
I said, who taught you how to cook? And he's talking to people on the streets. He learned street food. Niko's saying he learned going to Thailand and other places from street food vendors. He would watch them, and they would cook one singular thing, one thing, to perfection, over and over again. And that's the way to truly hone your craft or make something to perfection. So he would eat a lot and eat and ask questions and taste and understand what it was, and then he would really embody what he had learned and then cook it himself. And that's why his technique is so impeccable. So I asked Niko what he hopes for the next generation of chefs here carrying on the Venetian tradition. And he says, look, I think that the most important thing is that they love what they do. I agree with that, because if you don't love anything you do, how can you do it with passion and with energy? So he says that's the most important aspect of it, is to learn and to carry it forward and to be innovative and creative. He hopes this for people without judgment, meaning he wants them to figure out what they need to do without imposing his or anyone else's opinion upon them, because everyone's their own person and they should find their own satisfaction in life and their craft and their work and what they do. That's beautiful.
You need half a glass of wine.
Cooking with the Masters is about spending time with people who preserve traditions like these, and the best recipes are passed down through generations, and every plate has a story.